So, I've been actually playing Tower Fantasy for quite a while now, and I want to say that it's actually not too bad. And I want to give my honest opinion on it. So, first of all, I do want to talk about the customization. It was quite interesting at first, but there's not enough items for me to play around with. So, at the end, I didn't feel all that amazed by the customization of the character. Although this always has been a problem with me when it came to custom creation characters on any other game. Hopefully they add more cosmetics to the game because right now it kind of feels bland. Now, I really do hope that they don't make us pay for a lot of these cosmetics, and if they do start coming out with some new cosmetics, hopefully they drop them mostly in advance. Now, I do want to mention that once you unlock a weapon, you also unlock that character. So if you don't like the customization, you could also pick the characters that are in the game. Now, do keep in mind that not every weapon contains a character or a skin. You do have to unlock them behind the gacha pull system, which means that you will have to grind either all of the currency that is in the world or actually spend money if you want a certain character as your skin. I also forgot to mention that you can only get these characters or skins from SR or SSR weapons. So jumping right into the game, I noticed the sound effects from the game. It just sounded so cinematic. The visual effects just looked so amazing. It was just so bright and so full of color. And it just hooked me right in that instance that this game was gonna be really good when I first saw this. Now jumping into the fighting mechanics, it's quite interesting that every weapon has its own combo, ability, and element. There's even air combos into the game. The only problem I have with air combos is that you can't cancel while you're in the air. You can dodge in the air, which is totally a-okay, but I sometimes prefer the ground combos more than the air combos. So if I can actually like cancel my air combo midway and hit the ground quicker, so that way I have a better chance to dodging an enemy or repositioning myself. One of the annoying things is that once your ability's up and you want to switch weapons, you are forced to use it. So if you're trying to actually just unlock like a puzzle and your ability's up, you have no choice but to use it, and you cannot save it for whenever you do need it. Now, there are some enemies that actually have a weakness to them, and they're usually displayed underneath their health bar in an icon form. Now let's talk about the dodge mechanic. The dodge mechanic is actually really interesting. Every time your opponent glows red, and if you dodge in that certain time frame, you're able to hit the little slow motion, and it's like a little orb that whatever's in there is slowed mode, and you're able to do all the combos that you can for a short amount of time, and also increases the ability power that you can get, so you can unleash all kinds of mayhem to the enemy. Now I want to talk about the clunkiness of the game. So I did try to get on top of this tower with the double jump, and that didn't work. And then I tried to climb this ladder, but that didn't work either. So that did annoy the crap out of me. Hopefully they fix little issues like these. It does tell that they have a lot of polishing up to do, because a lot of the fighting mechanics do look a little bit clunky and could use a little bit more polishing. Now, I want to talk about the mounts in the game. They're actually pretty cool and pretty neat to have in an MMO, especially since you get them pretty early on. Usually, it takes almost like to level 60 in like normal MMOs, I believe. I haven't played an MMO in such a long time, but usually getting a mount has always been a hassle or just such a chore, and they make it pretty easy to obtain one of these. Well, right here we only have two mounts unlocked, so it's like a little cube and a motorcycle, and we also get this cool little jet board that lets us ride the waves like if you're surfing. And not many games offer stuff like this, so this is actually really great, especially when you need to roam around in the water, because you know it's tiring just to swim at a very slow pace, and that's really annoying. So this was actually a really good call by them. Next, we're going to talk about the story. So I did enjoy whenever the characters were interact in the story. They had such a bubbly feel to them, so they didn't feel too robotic like other games just have like this same movement or the same facial expression. So this actually felt real refreshing, but at the same time it almost felt like they were overdoing it. But depending on the player, I think this could be easily overlooked. The voices aren't too bad either. They're pretty decent at most. Some lines do kind of give me cringe vibes, but again, it varies on the player. So I don't want to get too much into the story so that way I can avoid spoilers. But I will say that I wasn't too connected to the story like compared to any other game. It did kind of feel like, hey, these characters you just met, and you should probably feel some type of way even though you just met, and a tragedy happens and now you have to help. To me, that feels very bland, and then they're going with the whole amnesia thing at first, but you do regain some of your memories, I guess, from early on. They did kind of mention why your character is just so strong. It's because, you know, he's a soldier, and that's why his combat skills are actually what they are now. But other than that, I guess the story's pretty okay, mediocre at best. The villages do look really, really good. I do like I didn't like the first part that we got into, but once we got to the second part, it looked a lot more cleaner, a lot more like if it was an actual civilization, and with a bunch of characters just all over the place. But yeah, I do wish they would do a little bit more to connect us more with either the characters or the story. Talking about the characters really do not feel, I don't feel any connection to the characters. By characters, I mean like the people that you could pull on gacha. The gacha characters, I just feel like there's no point in me pulling all these characters because, first of all, I don't find them appealing enough for me to pull them, both in vision and who they are. I feel like they fail at you being connected to these characters. I know there's story modes to them, but I kind of hate the fact that you couldn't interact with these characters from the get-go, from the beginning, and then you're like, I like this character, is it going to be playable? So a lot of the characters that you do meet in the beginning are NPCs. So yes, there's that. Now we're going to go ahead and move to the gacha system. Ooh. Okay, so the gacha system is actually really interesting. Really, actually, it's not too bad because the pity counter is actually much more generous than any other gacha game that I've actually ever seen. They have a pity of 80, but after you get an SSR, it does not reset. It just keeps going. So if you get SSRs between a 30 pull and then another one at 60 pull, it does not reset. And then at your 80 pull, you'll end up getting another SSR, which is actually very amazing. And they do give the currency, the nucleus, whether it's the yellow or the black, which you can use those to do the gacha pulls, which is pretty awesome. So when you're exploring, you do find gold nucleus and black nucleus, which is quite generous, especially since, you know, it feels much more rewarding when you're out there exploring, because it's just not small little items that you're getting, or small little amounts or pieces or a fraction of a nucleus. You get a full nucleus, and that is a full pull, which is amazing. And it's and I like that. But we don't know what the end game is here once you farm everything that's around the world. Only time could tell what they have planned in the future in what the game is going to become. So there are other ways to obtain these dark crystals, to where you can use these to buy nucleus or buy certain items in the shop. You could either drop some money, or you can actually farm these by getting the supply pods, or even playing PvP. Even PvP is able to give you unlimited amounts depending on how well you do there. Now, I can't go too much in depth in PvP since I haven't done it myself. I've actually been focusing a lot on just the game itself. But I did see that there's a lot of complaints with lag issues and connection issues. We also have these chips that you put on your weapons. They are kind of similar to artifacts from Genshin Impact. And I don't like the fact that these are also a gacha system. That these have a gacha system. That's kind of weird to me. So that means even you spending a little money or using some of your resources in order to get a even stronger weapon is just it just rubs me the wrong way. So please keep that in mind. That is something that probably might be a big game changer. This game does have a light pay to win, but they balance it out in PvP as long as you got one copy of the character. Every new character that comes ends up becoming much more stronger than the one before. Then we've got the menus. There's just menus on top of menus on top of menus, and so many different currencies, and it's kind of not very player friendly, if I'm being honest here, or newbie friendly. Usually these are just kind of annoying, that there's just so much to go on with, it's just so much to learn. And you know, after learning it, yeah, it just becomes like, oh, okay, this is that, this is here and what. But still, it's just so much. It is a lot, and I feel like it's not very new player friendly. You know, as a person that's been playing Genshin Impact since version 1, I do have a lot of input about this game, and I'm trying my hardest not to compare it to Genshin Impact. I'm trying to compare it to as a game itself. So overall, the gameplay is really good and really fun. There's just so much to do, and it just has everything that an MMO has to offer. My rating would be, don't knock it till you try it. I mean, like, this game is a must try. Especially since they're giving you a free SSR and just all of the stuff that you get along the way with adventuring and exploring. It is definitely something you want to try before you decide that you don't like the game. So go ahead, give that a try, and then come back to me and tell me what do you think about it? What are your thoughts about it? I really want to hear someone else's opinion about it, because you know it does vary a lot on other players, and I want to connect with a lot of my viewers as well, because I do stream a lot of Genshin Impact, and I just picked up Tower of Fantasy, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing Tower of Fantasy since Genshin Impact is my first love. And I mean, I understand you're supposed to go out there and explore because there's so much more out there in this world. So that's why I even gave this game a try. I wasn't gonna just say, oh, it sucks, because it has so many similarities to Genshin Impact, and that is not where I was gonna go for. And if I were to score this game, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, because I had so much fun making it, and I can't wait to make another review. The next one, I will be comparing this with Genshin Impact and which one you should play. And if you guys ever want to catch me, I do stream a lot of Genshin Impact and Tower Fantasy and even Fall Guys. So don't forget to like and sub if you want to get to know me a little bit better. And I'll catch you guys on the next run. Bye.